Senator Pete Ricketts, Republican of Nebraska, joins me now. Sir, you're on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. Senator, the president's lined up a new supply of oil from Venezuela. Surely, politically, this is a plus for the president and a plus for America's economy. Look, that's the way I see it. How about you?
What this is really about is keeping Americans safer. The leading cause of death among Americans 18 to 45 is drug overdose. And Venezuela was a drug trafficking point for those drugs. And Maduro, the illegitimate narco dictator there, is now in the hands of Americans to be able to be brought to justice, just like Noriega or all the other cartel leaders we've been bringing in over the course of the last year or so. The oil is something that down the road is certainly something that would be beneficial to be able to free that up for Americans to be able to use and get it out of the hands of people like the Iranians and the Chinese, which is where it's going right now. I mean, at the end of the day, Venezuela was the stopping place for everybody in the world who hated America, whether it was Iran, Russia, Cuba, China. These are all the bad guys. So making sure that Venezuela is not that safe spot for all these bad guys is a good thing for America, and the oil is one of the fringe benefits that's going to come out of it.
Oil is a fringe benefit. I like that. We'll take it, sir. We'll take it. Now, Senator Marco Rubio tells lawmakers that Trump wants to buy Greenland. He's downplaying military action. Is there any support in Congress for buying or taking over Greenland?
One of the things the president's been very clear since he got into office is that we need to protect our northern flank, and that's because of the activity of China and Russia. Both communist China and Russia have been expanding what they're doing in the Arctic. That's a vulnerability for us. We know we need to protect ourselves up there, and the president's been very clear about that. Whatever we can do to be able to strengthen our northern defenses is going to be important. And I think that the idea, if we can come to an arrangement with Denmark with regard to this, that would certainly help us. But at the end of the day, as you know, the president is always about negotiations, and he always starts on the far end of where he wants to be, to get to the point of where he really wants to get to, which is about defending America, again, keeping America safe. That's what this Greenland thing is about as well, is keeping America safe.
The general stance of the president on foreign policy is he's more aggressive. He's going after places. He's proactive. Greenland, Iran, maybe Cuba, certainly Venezuela. Is there support in Congress, support amongst Republicans for this more aggressive foreign policy?
Well, I can tell you that in my home state of Nebraska, that we have seen the scourge of drug trafficking, for example, and it exploded when Biden came into office. Our Nebraska State Patrol took, for example, 10 times the amount of cocaine off the streets after Biden's open border policies. So Nebraskans understand the dangers of having an open border policy. They want us to have a safe hemisphere, and we need to support the president as he goes about trying to make this hemisphere safer for Americans. It's in our national security interest to take out illegitimate dictators like Maduro, to end the drug trafficking, to protect our northern flanks against the incursions of communist China and Russia. These are all things that are to protect Americans and keep them safe.
Got it. Senator Pete Ricketts, thank you very much for being with us. I appreciate it.
Thanks very much.